What's up, everybody? This is Alex Christopher with The Duran, and I'm here with Alexander Mercouris, editor-in-chief of The Duran, and today we're going to be taking a look at Justin Trudeau and SNC Lavalin. All right. Justin Trudeau, Prime Minister of Canada, is in trouble. His poll numbers are dropping. He has elections coming up. He is facing a pretty big scandal that seems to be growing by the day. And it also looks like, going off of the testimony of his former Justice Minister, Jody Wilson-Raybould, going off for testimony, Alexander, it seems that she painted a picture of a Trudeau that's very incongruent with the virtue signaling, nice guy that Trudeau kind of makes himself out to be. We kind of see a picture of a Trudeau that's very panicked, that is very power hungry, that is corrupt. Get us into what's going on in Canada.
The words I would say is a ruthless, manipulative, and hypocritical, and frankly deceitful. I mean, Justin Trudeau has been working round the clock ever since he was elected Prime Minister of Canada to project this image of himself as this great, virtuous, progressive Prime Minister who was, cleaner than clean and would never do anything inappropriate or wrong. Now, what this person has exposed, and she was the Attorney General of Canada, so she was Canada's most important law officer, is that Justin Trudeau and his officials interfered in a potential criminal prosecution of a large Canadian company. Now, that was political meddling in the criminal process. It's the sort of thing that other countries, that Justin Trudeau constantly criticizes other countries for doing. It's the sort of thing he would criticize, say, Russia for doing or China for doing. But he's always pretended that he never does these things. It is also potentially, if done in a certain way, so as to pervert the course of justice or obstruct the course of justice, it is also potentially a criminal offense. Please remember that when Donald Trump sacked James Comey as FBI director, there were certain people who said that this was an obstruction of justice because Donald Trump was supposedly interfering in the Russiagate investigation. No evidence of Donald Trump ever leaning on anybody to close down the Russiagate investigation. No evidence of obstruction of justice by Donald Trump of any sort. And yet here we see Justin Trudeau, the great liberal, the great progressive, the great rule of law person, the great virtue signaler, interfering, trying to obstruct an investigation to suit his own political interests. So what Donald Trump was being accused of and never did, it looks as if Justin Trudeau may have done.
Well, let me add another word to your characterization of Justin Trudeau. Let's call him a corporatist, and let's say that he has been captured by the corporations. He was worried that this SNC Lavalin, which is I personally don't know the company, but from what I understand, it's a big employer in Quebec. He was worried that if they were found guilty, prosecuted, they would have to lay off a lot of people. That would affect his re-election possibility. And so he started to crack some heads in his justice ministry to try and get them to ease up on SNC Lavalin. Let me know if I'm characterizing this correct. And then answer the question as to what does this say about a Justin Trudeau administration?
Well, I think straightforwardly, what it shows, and first of all, I think you characterize it exactly correctly. He tried to block a criminal probe, a criminal investigation, a possible prosecution to achieve a political objective. I mean, quite appalling. And I mean, I don't think that's a case of corporatist capture, because I don't think Trudeau was ever captured. I think that is what he always was. I think it's just been exposed now that he was. And what we see is the Prime Minister of Canada twisting the legal system for his own personal political benefit, something that Donald Trump has been accused of, but of which there is no evidence that he has ever done.
It really speaks a lot to the neoliberal mindset, to the projection that they like to give out. You know, it comes to that old Adam where they say, whatever a liberal is accusing you of, always know that that's exactly what the liberal is doing. And Justin Trudeau has pretty much proved that with this scandal right here.
Well, I have a crude rule of thumb, Alex, which I worked out years and years ago following events in, especially in Eastern Europe, which is that all too often the people who are the first to talk about corruption in others are the most corrupt themselves. And I think here we have, with Justin Trudeau, an example of this. Perhaps not financial corruption, in the sense that I haven't yet seen any evidence that he stood to make personal financial profit out of this, but certainly a kind of political corruption, in that he appears to have tried to stop this prosecution in order to secure for himself further political office. And frankly, as I said, it's the sort of thing Donald Trump gets accused of doing. It's the sort of thing Vladimir Putin gets accused of doing. It's the sort of thing that Justin Trudeau was always the first person to accuse others of doing. And yet here we have seen that he actually did it. Now, I want to just add and remind our viewers of something else, which is that a couple of weeks ago, the chief financial officer of Huawei, the Chinese telecoms group, was also arrested in Canada and sent to the United States. And of course, we had all the protestations from the Canadians that there was no political interference in that decision. And we were always skeptical about that. And I said that in extradition proceedings, there's always an element of politics involved. Well, who now believes those denials? I certainly don't. Clearly, Justin Trudeau is not someone who balks at interfering in the criminal justice system if it suits him.
And I think it says a lot about what Justin Trudeau has done to Canada's reputation. We've mentioned often on many live shows that Canada has a tradition of being a fair arbiter in geopolitics. It has a very strong tradition of fair and open diplomacy on the world stage. In general, it has been traditionally a respected country on the world stage. But it seems that under Trudeau, aside from a lot of people giggling at Trudeau and laughing at him for comments that he makes, you know, his identity politics comments, you know, not mankind, but person kind, and, you know, silly things like that. The serious side of it is that Trudeau, on a geopolitical level, and now on the internal political level, has done a lot of damage to Canada, whether it's Huawei or whether it's this scandal right now.
I think also, and you're absolutely right about all that you've just said, but I would also stress the internal damage, because Canada always also had a reputation for being a clean country. I mean, almost Scandinavian. And it turns out that with Justin Trudeau, that's simply not the case any longer. I mean, this is a big scandal in Canada. It's far from clear that Trudeau will survive it. Perhaps he doesn't, well, in my opinion, he doesn't deserve to survive it. And there are already demands that he resign, which he is presently resisting. Personally, because I still believe that this tradition of integrity in Canada is still there. Personally, I believe that before long he will be gone.
That's an interesting take. I'm skeptical, and I want you to delve into it a little, and we'll finish on this. I'm skeptical because whenever liberals get accused of something,
Yeah.
You know, the other liberals, the Liberal Party generally circles the wagon and they go to protect, you know, the person that's being accused. And they're very good at that. And the media, of course, is also on their side. So they always tend to downplay whatever scandals are in the spotlight. And so to me, that says that Justin Trudeau may be able to squeak this out, given all the support that he'll have, one, from his party, and two, from the media as well. And of course, the people that have voted for him are going to probably not want to believe this because the mindset, the neoliberal mindset, is very much an ideology. It's a religion to some people. So they're just going to close their eyes and say, no, not Justin. Justin Trudeau can never do this. So when they get to the ballot box, they may also just say, you know what, Trudeau, because he could never have done what he's being accused of.
Yeah, well, can I just say something, Alex? I mean, your skepticism may prove fully justified. I was expressing, shall we say, a hope based on faith in Canada than experience of how liberals behave. I've never
if it was
been
a conservative, Canada, Alexander,
well, it would be a different story. It would be a very different story. I mean, he'd be gone by now. If he was a conservative, he would be gone by now. But can I just say something? I still have some belief that, as I said, there is a residual integrity in Canada, which I think will still count for something. And yes, some people will retreat into denial over this, but the facts, the publicly known facts, are so bad that I don't really see how those denials can be credible in the end. It doesn't help Trudeau that the Attorney General that he puts so much pressure on is apparently a native American Canadian. So, I mean, it makes it all, you know, it undermines, if you like, that side of the virtue signaling story that Trudeau also likes to sort of proclaim to the world, and which liberals place so much stress on.
And outside of Merkel, I'm thinking right now, Alexander, outside of Merkel, Justin Trudeau may be the last of the Obama neoliberal rat pack. You know, whether it was Cameron or who else was it? Hollande. Red Sea in Italy, you know, all these guys that were part of Obama's, you know, neoliberal rat pack, you know, the only one left is Europe. In Europe is Merkel, and then you have Justin Trudeau. And Justin Trudeau really is, he's exposed himself to be a neoliberal corporatist.
Well, it is so. Well, can I just say something, actually? It's interesting you say that, because, of course, if we go back to what I think was the single biggest event that this Obama's rat pack, as you call it, the world leaders that supported him took, it was in July 2014 when they decided to impose sanctions on Russia. And the interesting thing is, of those leaders who took that decision, the only one actually left is, in fact, Merkel. I mean, Obama, of course, had to go because his term ran out, but his chosen successor, his anointed successor, Hillary Clinton, failed to get elected. And though Justin Trudeau was not there at the time when that decision was made, he is in some ways the sort of person who is identified now with that policy. So if he too goes, and with Merkel also going, because we mustn't forget that she's announced that she's going, you know, none of these people will be left. Cameron has gone. Renzi of Italy has gone. Hollande has gone. Exactly. They're all gone. I mean, they've all gone like the wind. None of them had any legs. And who knows? Maybe at the end of it, there'll be one man left standing, and that will be Putin, against whom all these people acted. Yeah. Which is quite an interesting thought.
Putin, Assad, Trump, they're all going to still be around, and these other guys have all, you know, gone like the wind.
They've all gone like the wind. Exactly.
Excellent point. Alexander Mercouris, Editor-in-Chief of The Duran. Thank you very much. Guys, if you like this video, click on that subscribe button down below and click on the notifications bell to get notifications every time we push out a new video. Visit the Duran shop, pick up a t-shirt, help support the Duran. In the description box down below, you'll find links to our PayPal and Patreon pages. Please donate to us. That really helps us out a lot. And you can get a copy of this video in audio format. Go to SoundCloud and iTunes and follow us there. Don't forget, go to theduran.com and read all the articles that Alexander is linking up to every day. Alexander Mercouris, Editor-in-Chief of The Duran. Thank you once again. Until next time, everybody, take care.